I spent a year deliberately asking the question everybody else in the room was too afraid to ask. It was so painfully uncomfortable and awkward, but it was also the most useful thing I've ever done professionally. Here's how it started. I was in a strategy meeting with a client, and you know how those kind of meetings go. It's a big room and there's a long table, really smart people. Somebody put a framework up on the screen that everybody else seemed to immediately understand and agree with, and I had no idea what I was looking at. So I did what most people do. I nodded. I wrote something down so I looked like I was following along, and I waited for somebody else to ask the question that I had. But nobody did. We made a decision in that meeting based on a framework that half of the room didn't actually understand. And I found out later I wasn't the only one who was lost. That was the day I decided to stop nodding. This happens all the time. I mean, Coca-Cola spent $4 million running 200,000 taste tests before they launched new Coke. 200,000 people. They tested everything except one question. Nobody asked, how would you feel if we took the original Coke away? Not one person in that entire research process asked the most obvious question on the table. Now, 79 days after the launch, they pulled it. People had been hoarding cases of original Coke in their basements. One man spent $30,000 of his own money starting an organization called Old Cola Drinkers of America just to protest. The CEO got a letter addressed to Chief Dodo, the Coca-Cola company. Now, $4 million, 200,000 tests, and one question nobody asked. In 1982, Colgate, the toothpaste company, they launched a line of frozen dinners, lasagna, Swedish meatballs, beef stroganoff, all proudly branded with the same logo sitting on your bathroom sink. Their logic is that people trust Colgate, so why not leverage that brand trust at dinner? The one question nobody asked, does anybody want to eat food from the company that cleans their teeth? The answer was no. Emphatically, immediately, no. Colgate was so embarrassed that they scrubbed all mention of it from their company history. The only place you can find evidence that it existed is in the Museum of Failure in Sweden. A whole line of frozen dinners, not one person in that building thought to ask what a toothpaste brand meant to somebody standing in the frozen food aisle. Here's what a year of this has taught me. Expertise is genuinely useful, but it comes with a tax. The more you know, the more you quit questioning assumptions. And it's not because you're lazy, it's because your brain is efficient. It files things under settled so you can focus on what's new. The problem is some of those settled things were never actually true. They just went unchallenged long enough to feel that way. Beginner's mind isn't a Zen thing. It's a competitive advantage. The person willing to ask the obvious glaring questions is the one who finds out what everybody else quietly agreed to pretend wasn't there. Now, you don't have to do it in every meeting, and you don't have to be the one who slows everything down. But once a week, in one room, ask the question you've been talking yourself out of. You might be the only person in that room brave enough to ask it, and I guarantee that you're not the only one who has it. What's the question you've been in a room and wanted to ask but didn't?